greetings and welcome to Eastern Promise. I'm Mike Rigby, and you are very welcome aboard this fresh slice of Eastern Promise. Together, we'll explore the best the East of England has to offer. This week, augmented reality architect James Lee Burgess of UrbanXR takes me on a tour of the award-winning Digi-Tech Factory at City College Norwich. Truly, it is a unique building designed to closely mimic a tech sector workplace with a striking modern look. Is that all? Not even close! Prepare for your first bite of Sync the City 2022. And finally, autumn. Keats' season of mists and mellow fruitfulness. Traditionally, a time for Thanksgiving, so let's hear what you're thankful for in this week's CROWDSOURCERY. First of all, let's see what's been happening in the East of England. The John Innes Centre, a globally renowned powerhouse of plant science based in Norwich, is finding new ways to feed the world. Varieties of reduced height or semi-dwarf wheat that are more resilient to drought may soon be grown in fields across the globe, following an exciting scientific discovery. Researchers at the John Innes Centre, working alongside an international team of scientists, have discovered height-reducing gene RHT13. This means that seeds can be planted deeper in the soil, giving access to moisture without the adverse effect on seedling emergence seen with existing wheat varieties. John Innes Centre Group Leader, Dr. Philippa Borrell, said, "The discovery of the gene, its effects and exact location on the wheat genome means that we can give breeders a perfect genetic marker to allow them to breed more climate-resilient wheat. The benefits of the new semi-dwarfing gene may include stiffer stems, better able to withstand stormier weather. As Dr. Borrell explains, in dry environments, the alternative reduced height gene will allow farmers to sow seeds at depth and not have to gamble on the seedlings emerging. We think the stiffer stems could result in less lodging, where stems fall over, and help to enhance resistance response to certain pathogens." Congratulations to Dr. Borrell and all at the John Innes Centre for this amazing step forward. Its global reputation for excellence in plant science is more than deserved. And who doesn't like a stiffer stem? What? On the matter of excellence, my guest in a few moments, James Lee Burgess, unveiled UrbanXR's latest augmented reality projects for the BT's Robotics Festival at the company's Applied Research HQ at Tadastral Park in Suffolk. The new manufacturing customer showcase will be open for tours featuring 2 AR experiences by UrbanXR. The festival itself was a sellout smash, so congratulations to James Lee Burgess, to Lisa Perkins and all at Tadastral Park. If you missed it, you can find out much more about UrbanXR's work by going to urban-xr.com. And that's the news this week. Send me your stories to newsdesk@easternpromise.site. The tech sector is one of the East of England's fastest growing industries. From the groundbreaking developments emerging from BT's Applied Research Labs at Tadastral Park, the University of Essex's strides into artificial intelligence, the artisan feel of the Norwich tech sector with its thriving gaming industry, world-class universities and huge events like Sync the City, to the colossal pull of Cambridge for tech giants like Apple, Amazon, Google and Roku. Our region is in the vanguard. The challenge: how to stay there. How to keep talented young people flowing through the education system and into the region's tech industry. maintaining the East of England's digital cutting edge. Maybe that cutting edge is why coffee architects ProWorks, R.G. Carter and City College Norwich put such a striking sawtooth roofline on the Digi-Tech Factory, the award-winning facility at the college's campus on Ipswich Road. With 60 miles of cabling, over 300 PCs and more than 500 monitors in the factory, students in architectural design, animation, video editing and virtual reality will have an experience as close as a college can get to an actual industry workplace. I asked UrbanXR's James Lee Burgess to not only show me this incredible building at close quarters, but to let me have a go on some of the augmented reality technology he used to help design it. Okay, well, the Digi-Tech Factory. In this place there is, and you can tell I've done my research, £750,000 worth of computer gear. And if there's one man who knows his way around the very latest bleeding edge technology, it's my guest today. Introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, Mike. I am James Lee Burgess from UrbanXR, and I was involved in this project right from its very early days, inception.
The linchpin.
2018, in fact. Yeah.
You were the linchpin, I think it's fair to say, sitting in the nexus between client and contractor, and so many people. And I don't want to get in trouble with Chris Starkey again. So many people have contributed to this fantastic building. It's New Anglia Local Enterprise Partnership, the Department for Levelling Up Communities and Local Government. I think I missed housing in there, whatever it is this week. DLUC. Norwich City Council put this forward as one of its town fund bids. You've got this very college, City College Norwich, dipping into its own pocket to fund this fantastic building. And we are going to find out so much more about it today in the company of James Lee Burgess. I will now stop rabbiting on. Tell us, James Lee Burgess, tell us all about this building. Take us around, show us. We're standing in one of the computer classrooms. There's high-tech gizmos aplenty all around us. Wires, there's about 60 miles of cabling in this building. What are we going to start with?
Yeah, well, this room is one of the labs on the lower ground floor, and it's got a lovely double height space, as you can see. So the idea for these, so there's 3 of these on this floor, and these focus on electronics. This one's actually a sort of more of a flexible space, which is more of a classroom space, whereas the 2 next door are more specific in their uses. There's electronics, and I think there is also something to do with manufacturing tech as well. I need to look into that.
So it's 2,500 square feet or square meters?
Square meters.
Square meters, thank you.
Yeah.
And one of the labs, this building is, I think I'm right in saying, isn't it? It's centered around giving students the most realistic experience of a tech-based workplace they're going to get anywhere outside of doing the actual job. We've got huge screens on the wall and another one suspended from the ceiling for those sitting slightly further away. It is bright, it is clean, it is airy. It's a very warm day outside, but it's very cool in here. So what are these? Is that the kind of inspiration for this space? That industrial experience?
Yes, totally. I mean, that was one of the inspirations behind the entire project. Actually, we had some early meetings because I was involved. I can't lay claim post construction. We were involved in the interiors. But up to planning, I was a part of the team project managing the delivery up to planning and also the bid to the LEP. And part of that process in getting the bid ready for the LEP was also looking into precedents. And one of the projects we did look at, we went down to Newer, where they have a lot of inhabited space, sort of like old industrial spaces, potentially those kind of things we were looking at. And that kind of inspired coffee architects to take this idea of a steel frame, which was then exposed, which you can see with the columns and the cross bracing. So it's a very expressive building, and the surface is exposed as well. So there's this kind of feel that this building possibly could have been here before and has been changed as time went on. So that was one of the important aspects, and creating these lofty double height spaces as well was important to that.
That's fascinating because, as you say, it creates kind of a living building. I mean, we're looking at now the massive steel struts, painted white, very lovely and clean, but it creates that, again, that industrial space that companies will have, because they don't just, you know, move around. They broadly stay in the same place and reinvent the spaces to suit themselves. And you're right, it really does feel like a space that has been used and repurposed over time. Yeah, as I say, very much a living space. You've got, I see with you, you've brought with you the tools of your trade, your augmented reality HoloLens. And to what extent did you use that on this building?
Yeah, well, in the first stages, because the first up to planning, I was working with Lampro, and we brought the team together to deliver the building overall at Lampro. And then I left Lampro to set up my architecture and technology as it is now business, just after this went in for planning. And then post-planning, we set up XLWorks as it was by then. And we invested in HoloLens, and then over the lockdown period in 2019, because the project got funding from the LEP in 2019, at the start of 2019, and actually in post-lockdown, in the lockdown period in 2019, so I'm getting my years wrong, 2019, we had the HoloLenses, and I started thinking about how we might be able to use HoloLenses in conjunction with the work that was going on at the Digi-Tech Factory, because they seemed like a really good crossover. And we came up with something called CROWDSOURCERY, which was a side project that went alongside the construction team in the project, where the design team worked with us in using the HoloLenses, the AR headsets on site to test out different capabilities. And that went really well. And that's been part of our journey to get to 4 national construction finals with that CROWDSOURCERY program, which has been really great.
That is an amazing track record of success just for this building alone. What's the advantages, if you want to just expound on that, what's the advantages of using that technology? Because that's something you've really kind of, certainly in the east of England, you really are the pioneer of augmented reality technologies and its use in architecture. What's the advantages there?
Well, it's very different. A lot of people still think it's VR, but this is not.
It's not.
It's not. So this brings a 3D, it's not technically a hologram, but people call it a hologram, into the space that you're in. So it has a visor and a lens which projects the hologram into your eyes, and you can still look at people, you're still aware of your environment, and that's why it can be used in a construction site. So we've got 2 of these with helmets attached, so it's health and safety is fine. So we're able to use it walking around site and place things like mechanical and electrical layouts in the spaces it was being developed. We were able to place interior layouts. We were able to put the structural model of the building on site before it was installed. That was a really interesting time of testing, because that worked with Clancy engineers, the structural engineers, and also the main contractor Carter's worked with us on that. And so I think the idea that we are able to take the 3D building information and place it within the hands of the on-site contractor and subcontractors is really powerful, because that's not something that's happened before. Everybody works off 2D drawings, possibly with an iPad looking at some 3D stuff, but to be able to see it at one-to-one scale, placed accurately within the space, helps coordination and just understanding so much more. So that workflow is really sort of like streamlined and that side of things.
You are absolutely right, because I've been lucky enough you've let me try these things before, and we weren't actually on site, but you did let me look at the steels, I think, of the building, where you're right, it's not VR, it's not virtual reality, it's augmented reality, in that I could see the room I was in, I could see all my surroundings, but I could still see in front of my face this wire diagram of the steels of this building and its very distinctive sawtooth roof, which I think I'm right in saying is inspired by their headquarters, was it Coffee?
Yes.
In King's Cross in London.
Yeah.
And you can see that, you can manipulate it, you can turn it see it from any angle, big, small, go right inside, but still be aware of your surroundings, which I think is you're right, you're so right, it's a powerful tool to have on site. And you say this is up for 4 awards. Is it won 4 already, or is it in the running for? Well,
we got to the final of. We're in the finals for 4 for digital construction. So 3 of those have passed. We got highly commended at the Constructing Excellence Award last January, I think, yes, or was it this January? I'm losing track of time now.
I'm losing track of time as well. I think it was about then. It doesn't seem that long ago, yet it seems a very long time ago. And you'll be able to hear the highlights of the Constructing Excellence Awards on Eastern Promise, and we'll put the link to those episodes in the notes for this one when this goes out. And but it is an extraordinary track record of success from a very inclusive team. That you were so happy that night. You were also absolutely
yes.
cock-a-hoop, I think is the word, to have scooped that one. And
I think that was for Building of the Year, whereas the technology one was last year. So yeah.
Ah,
so building
right. See,
so it continues to win. So it's a CroWDSOURCERY program which includes Digi-Tech and Norwich Castle. So I have to give a shout out to Norwich Castle.
I was going to come on to Norwich Castle. So tell us. Well, I mean, we're in this building now, but let's digress briefly into the town centre, as it were.
Yeah.
Tell us about how you're working on Norwich Castle.
So yes, we've been working with Conisbee engineers, who are the structural engineers for the refurbishment project at Norwich Castle Museum, which is a massive project where the Grade 1 listed Castle Keep has been stripped out, and they're putting in new floors, a huge new steel frame, and a roof terrace. So it's been a major project which has been involved. It's been years in the making. It's now on site. Of course, it's a very, very historic structure. So placing a steelwork construction within that space is very sensitive. There's lots of areas that have to be avoided. There's lots of coordination involved. So we work with Conisbee to take their structural model from their Revit 3D program, which they were using, and then place it in that space at one-to-one scale, so people could walk around it and look at the structure at scale. And Conisbee actually used that as a coordinating process within their workflow, which was really exciting for us to be able to see that technology saving them time and making their processes a lot more.
So before we sort of move on and explore a bit more of this fantastic building, I just want to talk briefly about the other work you're doing, because you're doing, I don't know, you may be able to tell me and then you'll have to kill me, but what's the nature of the work you're doing? Because you're doing some work with BT, aren't you?
Yes, so we won a project at the start of this year with BT, which was a major client win for us, of course, very excited about that. And that was working with them at their new headquarters in London, which they've just opened. And they have a bespoke customer experience area. And we were working with them on the Smart City exhibit. And they had a vision, actually, for a model of London with Smart City data overlaid onto it. And we developed that design with them and delivered the kind of like Marvel Tony Stark experience, which is now there for all of their key customers to look at when they visit BT. Not open to the public, sadly.
Hey,
but
you never know. You never know when you're going to get an invite from BT to come and look at the good stuff.
That was a big win for us, yeah.
Well, our very own Tony Stark, right here, James Lee Burgess. If you're listening, I know you're listening out there in California. I know you're listening out there in India. His website is
www.urban-xr.com.
Well, there you go. That's where you need to go to find out more about what he's doing. But for now, let's see some more of this building.
Yeah. Great.
And listen to some more of this building. I'm seeing it, you're not seeing it, but I'll try my best to describe it. So we're in kind of the main ground floor hallway. Again, this, from anyone who knows it, who's been sort of into any kind of commercial, industrial building, this feels very much like you would expect one to feel, not like a school at all, not like a college at all. And it's wide, again, it's airy. There are steps up to ahead of us to the main door. You've got yellow doors to the labs and the classroom, and screens on the wall. Yeah. What's the next thing you really want us to see in this building that's going to be of interest?
Well, I think it might be good to start on the top floor, actually. But this space is quite interesting because this is very much seen. The breakout spaces that we'll experience going up and down the building, it's quite obviously, as you say, there's quite a large area. The idea is that teaching and stuff would happen in these places. We're just about to start installing the furniture for the communal areas, which we are working on, UrbanXR with Waldorf and Farrow interior designers. So once that furniture goes in, these spaces will become classrooms or breakout spaces in their own right. So that's quite important for this area for sure. And I think if we go to the top floor, we can look at some of the sawtooth roof classrooms, which are quite impressive.
Oh yeah, let's go and see those.
Yeah.
Shout out there to Francesca Farrow.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, we always take a collaborative approach to all the design work we do. So we collaborated with Fran on the interiors on this project. They've done a great job.
I mean, it was so exciting just reading up about this building and the level of not just pride that City College have in it, which is evident from what they write on their own website, but the number of articles in various journals and things you come across that are really sort of talking up the not only the collaborative but the innovative way that it's been designed is really something special.
Yeah, well, coffee architects are very, very well suited to the project. I mean, they've got a really interesting approach to how they work with light and filtering light through elevations. You can see it's got a very innovative external facade. Well, you know, it's not innovative in terms of how it's put on, but actually the approach of cloaking a building with a veil.
Yes.
To filter views in and out and give privacy, and also sort of it feels very light in terms of its presence on the campus.
It really does, yeah.
And that contrasts with the Creative Arts building next door, which is very much in a sort of, you know, a sort of barn vernacular.
That's right, yeah.
It's black, very grounded, very earth-like. And then the idea behind this was to make it very much like a cloud, very sort of like, you know, technologically sort of ethereal, I suppose, in a way.
Yeah, I mean, if you go on the coffee website, you can see how they've considered how the sun passing by will affect the building, and, you know, the views, the tree that's at one end, all sorts of things. It's impressive. Are we going up? Or?
We are going up again, yes.
We're going up again?
It's working the lungs, this one.
Indeed.
Maybe we should have got a lift. Right then, so what I'm going to try and do is I'll try and guide you through the whole thing. Ooh. So I'm not going to set it up for you.
Haha.
Or maybe I do have to do that, actually. Oh, hang on a second, yeah. Well, let's see.
Let's give it a go, you know.
So, there you go.
I've now been handed for
so you could,
listeners at home.
You can tip the visor up. So, like that.
Ah, I see.
Okay, so you can get that company. Just make sure it's...
I'm assuming that's what it is,
at the back.
And that the battery isn't going to drop out of my legs.
No. Yeah, so push that down.
Oh, there's certainly a chime. Oh my God. And right in front of me, I can see, it's very similar to having basically an iPad screen floating in front of my face. I've got a little blue window with the Wi-Fi signal, something that's reacting to the droning on of my voice. That's volume 100, calendar, camera. Oh,
yeah, now.
And I've flung my hand in front of my face foolishly, and now something's loading. So
what have you touched, Mike?
What have I touched? Well, indeed, that's the question. Now, if I...
So you've got, in terms of interacting with the menus, you kind of, there's two things, you sort of prod it, your finger, so it's like pressing a button.
Right, so if I wanted to close that, would I just... And it did it!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so the headset is, you've got cameras on top of the headset which are scanning, so it's got a close scanner which picks up your hands in a lot of detail, so it's always aware of your hand movements. But the thing to remember is that you need to just not do it too fast, because it's kind of...
Yes.
The key is like, it's a bit like Tai Chi, so you've got to be slightly deliberate in what you're doing, so it picks up your hand movements. So the hand movements, it realises you're pointing a finger, so pressing a button. That's the main one. And then...
I just saw a very interesting... my hand sort of appeared covered in little triangles. Or went and now there's a line coming off my dotted line coming from my finger.
That's all a hand ray.
A hand. Ooh.
So that can be used. It's like a little remote cursor thing. To select things using that, you can. There's an action called the pinch movement, which is where you put your fingers together.
And it's gone solid when I do the pinch movement.
So you can use that to manipulate holograms when you've got objects to move around.
Right, here we are.
Thank you. Yeah.
At the very top of the tree.
We're at the top, and then we'll work our way down. Yeah, so you can see that it's got the sawtooth element in here, which gives a really lofty
It certainly
feel
does, yeah.
to those studios, and it keys it to the industrial feel of the building as well. And in fact, further down in the campus, there is one of the buildings in the middle of the site which has a sawtooth roof, so it kind of echoes that as well.
Oh,
which
right,
is quite a prominent element. So this is the top floor, and here's a big cut back, so we can look down into the floor below.
Yep.
And there's always this feeling. I mean, you know, this is all Coffee Architects design, so I'm kind of waxing lyrical over their approach. So yeah, you know, maybe they should be here doing this, but you know, in their absence, I shall try and explain.
You're the man.
You know, so always a big focus on connectivity between classrooms and spaces. So you're able to look down into this zone below, which will have tiered seating in for breakout and informal presentations when we get that furniture in. And then full height glass to locations within these classrooms. So these two classrooms can look over to each other, for example. And it just always focuses, of course, on this lovely tree in the car park, which was kind of like, you know, and I think in days past that was not really acknowledged in the way the buildings were laid out. And one of the key moves for this was orientating towards that lovely tree at the end there. So there's always this connection through to nature, which is important on sites like this.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Nicely framed by the window, as I'm sure was the intent. But it's again, it's that kind of classroom. Yes, they're obviously sort of rooms for working in classrooms, if you like. Yeah. But they've got that kind of multi-purpose feel that could be, you know, anywhere. It could be a studio in a design company,
exactly.
Gaming company,
and
whatever.
that feeling of an office environment was, as we said, very important.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Let's see where else.
As we walk back, as you get to the centre of the building, you get to these cutaways in the floor.
Yeah, and again, yes, very very important. I would imagine for moving the natural light around.
Yeah, absolutely, to the centre of the plan. But again, it encourages engagement with the other levels, and you can see it down into other classrooms. So there's always this connectivity through the building, which kind of helps to promote that idea of collaboration, because this building will be used by pretty much, well, quite a few of the courses around the campus, so it's not dedicated as such.
Really?
A lot of the T levels will be taught here, but the idea was always that this would be used by students from the CAB as well, because there's a connection across to the CAB building, which we'll look at shortly.
Right, okay,
a bridge element. And so for that feeling of collaboration and always working and cross-dissemination of knowledge between students is very important, which is why we also have, again, the wide communal areas here, which will have various elements of furniture and seating in for students to break out into. So if we go down to the next floor.
Okay.
How do we get down there? Here we go. More stairs.
Stairs again. That's all right. Gravity is this time. Gravity is our friend.
And in the staircase here, we've got that lovely picture window, which brings those trees into this space.
All you can see out this big window here is green, and the unfortunate imprint of a bird who obviously wasn't watching where it was going.
Quite possibly, yes. Now let's have a look at this level. What level is this?
Let's see more.
See what we got here.
Wide, clean stairways and onto the second floor.
Second floor. So second floor is a lot of digital studios.
Yep. Breakout spaces.
Exactly, more breakout spaces. Kind of a repeat of the upper floor, but without the sawtooth roofs. And
again, you've got the natural light coming up and down, and this one's in use.
Yep. Some people working.
Yep.
Trying out things, testing content for lessons.
Yep. Sticking it up on the huge screen there.
On this floor, we have this is the bridge link to the CAB building. So this was really important for the City College team. And we thought this would be a big challenge when we were developing the design up to planning, but actually it went very smoothly.
Thank you.
So this is a bridge link.
We are above the link between the Digi-Tech Factory and the Creative Arts Building.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so students can, commute between the two, no problem.
Yeah.
And again, that pushes the whole creative collaboration aspect of the two buildings, which is technology and creative industries crossing over, which is very important.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really important to have those links in, and not to suggest that they're in any way as separate entities, but make sure that, as you said, that collaboration flows.
Yeah.
So a nice big window so you can see outside to the surrounding campus. But
yeah, always full height windows, and then with the perforated mesh facade covers over the windows at certain points and doesn't on others, so you've always got this changing view out of the building. So there,
you can see that there, yeah.
We have a window which is fully glazed on one side, and then the mesh extends on the other side. So yeah.
So what's the? I mean, you mentioned about is it about privacy? Is it just about changing the nature of the light that comes through?
I think there's this feeling of a dynamic cladding elevation, really, so that you're constantly revealing parts of the building and revealing parts of the interior or the outside in different ways, and I think it draws your eye to those locations.
Yes,
because you're seeing a slight difference, so you're always intrigued about how that is looking or achieved from the inside, and I think there's this idea that the cladding is quite a precise and technologically produced piece of engineering.
Yes. It certainly looks like that.
So you're sort of got quite close to the cladding, so you're able to look out of it and see the world through that veil or that filter, which you could kind of reference as pixelated as well.
Yeah, it does. Slightly like Minecraft.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that idea of a sort of filter through the outside world, possibly a tech filter potentially. Yeah. I know at one point there was discussions about doing something bespoke for the perforations, but you've got to kind of work within budgets and things like that.
Of course.
So that was more something a bit more standardised, but it still works really well and fits in really well with the building.
Yeah, and we can see as we're kind of standing above this drop, unfortunately. This kind of what's the technical term?
A void.
A void, and then this kind of natural light that passes from the roof, and we can see right down to the ground floor, and we're looking across across the gap into the classroom. Whereas this chap might be coming and asking us what the place is doing. No, he's not. That's okay. And we can see the multi-use aspect of the classroom because we can see these racks of drawing boards, with their slide rules, as well as these massive screens that to make any PC owner jealous, and then the massive 4K screen on the end wall. But what a fantastic space to learn. Like, you're in somewhere that's so purposeful and doesn't kind of feel like it's a stereotypical classroom with black paper on the borders and the like. He said passing some black paper on the table there was a bit unfortunate. Wow.
So yeah, this is one of the classrooms that faces the main campus. So
yeah, we can see through the classroom and out the other side, the rest of the campus. But what draws my eyes, the multiple monitors on every desk, that again mirrors that real world experience rather than what you imagine more typically as the educational establishment, which is sort of crowded desks and one small monitor each, which is obviously a completely out of date stereotype on my part. But yeah,
double monitors were. I mean, some of them do have single monitors depending on the use, but mostly it's double monitors for that industry standard approach, really.
I mean, especially
And this is a much larger classroom because there are times when they need to teach bigger groups, so it's kind of probably almost twice the size of some of the other classrooms that we've got here. So yeah.
Well, I would imagine. I mean, I'm no expert on coding, but I would imagine that you need to see both what you're typing and you're coding and what the end result is. And for the lecturer to be able to see as well over your shoulder, what's happening and the impact it's having, this is. You're right. They're going to be teaching bigger groups because I would imagine this is going to be in a lot of demand because it's such a. I've never seen anything like it ever in in any kind of educational space.
What you can see in this room actually, which is really interesting, is the exposed surfaces. So we've got
yes, you can see. Yeah, that's
fresh air intakes so the cladding on the outside also helps cover up sort of vents and intakes for various things that we need for the mechanical and electrical solution, which was done by Clear Consulting and Design. They need a mention because coordination of all these exposed surfaces is it's actually really hard.
Yes,
as opposed to putting it all behind a dropped ceiling. You know,
Yeah.
suddenly the M&E becomes a key element. But you know, the design team, you know, I remember, you know, we were always fairly relaxed about big sort of tubes and vents coming through spaces, which you can see in this room.
Yeah,
here.
you
There's
can.
4 of them that are quite large, and some of them got insulation around them, but you know, they kind of like space parts of a spaceship. You know.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
So,
We've got the tracks for the cabling, and you're absolutely right, because to get that kind of the level of exposure to the services, keep it aesthetic, keep it safe, is far easier than just shoving it in a ceiling and putting panels up.
Yeah. If you mention exposed services to a mechanical electrical engineer, they normally groan, but Clear Consulting and Design didn't. You know, they relish it, and there's definitely an art to it. Yeah, it's really good. This is calibrating the headset. You have to keep your head still.
It's like chasing a polygonal buzzy bee around the place.
You've got to keep your head still, Mike.
Oh, right, sorry, yes.
And you use because what it's doing now, it's tracing your eye movements, because it's got iris recognition.
It's not being the opticians.
Yeah,
so that's just...
HoloLens is calibrated.
Good.
You can always make changes in settings if something doesn't look right.
Right. Okay.
There you go. So now it is bespoke to you.
Done.
You see.
Way. This is QR code.
That was a QR code off the phone, so that's how you log into the...
That'd be handy on site.
So you should see a big menu now.
I have Trimble Connect.
So what you'll see now is you're connected to the cloud, the cloud server, Trimble Connect, and that's where all of XRWorks 3D models for Trimble are stored.
Yeah.
So you probably got, I don't know, say Digi-Tech Factory somewhere in there.
ConstructXR Digi-Tech, is that
That's
one?
it, yeah, I'd try that.
Right, okay.
Look at that, like a pro.
Loading. I know. And I'm not that young either. So I've got a loading folder contents. Looks just like a basic Windows interface, the only difference being it's floating in front of my face. And hang on, I'm waving my arms around again, which you really shouldn't. And so I've got lots of sort of wire diagrams in this sort of 9-window menu in front of me.
Yeah, there's all the 3D models. I think there's one called Current. Is there a folder?
There's a folder called Current. Now I'm going to very gently, without reach in and load the phone. Now I've got 6 up. So,
right then. Let me take a stab at what is one of them. Have you got little pictures showing what they look like?
Yes, I have. You know, thank you for prompting me, because I do have little pictures like a window icon telling me what they look like.
Right. So have you got like one that's multicoloured steel?
Yes, I have.
I would just give that a whirl.
Steel Anchor and Digi-Tech 201020.
Give it a go.
Right, either or. That one looks interesting. I'm going to reach in and tap that.
Yeah. Now, you've selected that. So now on the bottom right of that menu, you should see a launch icon.
I do. A little rocket ship.
Is it green?
Blue. It's blue at the moment.
Right, try tapping that.
And it's loading. There's a downloading, and again with the little blue ping pong balls are rotating. And
so that's now loading the model into the headset.
Wow. It's now entrapped you in a looks like a very straight line obsessed spider has.
Yeah. So now the headset is scanning the environment. So it's probably asking you to air tap to place the model. Is that right?
Not yet. It's still
okay. If you hold your hand out, does anything happen?
Oh, yeah. So it's me. Yes.
Right. So
now,
have you got a ray coming out?
Or can we just? Yes, I have.
Right. So I would just do it so that the ray sort of plops down onto the floor next to you, and then do this motion. Just do a pinch.
I mean, it's in front of me. It looks kind of like it's been sort of made with sort of painted matchsticks. But
you can see you've got the model.
I can see it. Yes, sorry. Again, great radio. And if I sort of point my finger, I can sort of
So you can use the tap motion to grab it and move it around. So yeah, that's a hologram of the structure.
It is. It's very impressive.
And you can stand up and walk around it and stuff.
Well, that's a very good idea.
And stick your head in it if you want.
Right. Now then.
So the good thing about that is, the hologram can be scaled up to any size, so you can make it a full size on site, for example, or you can have a meeting and everybody can look at the same model at the same time. You can also do remote meetings. So if somebody's got a HoloLens in Australia and you've got a HoloLens here, you can both look at the same model, which is quite cool.
You've lost him, Lee.
I know, into the world.
Oh, yeah. Because you can sort of retract it down, build it up, down to sort of just the foundations and the footings, and then back up again, and it's just like...
Now, if you put your hand out like this...
Yeah.
Does it give you a menu?
It does.
Can you press exit?
There we go.
Right, is it just giving you the...
I've got a circle in front of me with 2, 4, 6, 7 different options.
Has it stopped the... Because I think what's happened there
I can
is...
still see the wireframe.
Oh, wait, but it stopped trying to cut it in half and stuff.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So now you should be able to move it around more easily, the model. I would ignore the menu for now. So you should be able to grab it and move it around a bit more. Is that working better?
Yeah, and indeed. Whoa, making it bigger. See if I get that bit. And I'm almost on the stairs now.
Yeah.
And
So
I'm moving it. I am actually walking with this model, carrying it. I am slightly worried that what used to happen when I carried Lego models will happen. Try and do something like sit down and the whole thing will collapse. But no, I'm looking down at the roof now, which was the sawtooth roof that I've read a lot about. What a fantastic model! I think we'll cut out the bits of me trying and failing miserably to engage with it like this. But this is incredible, and I'm still very much obviously in this room. I can still see everyone in this room. I can still see where I was sitting, and that is incredible. What I like waving it around almost now. That is amazing. I'm gobsmacked. I really am. And as my wife will tell you, that takes a lot.
Yeah, before I think it was in a little tiny thing where it allows you to focus in on a different part of the building, whereas that was the yeah.
What's the best way to get
you did
deactivate this without breaking it?
I tell you what, Mike, that's a first. That's the first time I've instructed somebody right through the whole process.
Really?
Very, very well done.
A first here on Eastern Promise, folks.
Fantastic.
Thank you. I'm sorry for that slightly sweaty now.
Right then,
Let's move down one.
Next level.
When I was at university, Netscape was still a thing, so
For me as well, I think. Possibly.
Yeah, Windows 3.11 was like, oh wow. Windows 95 came out my first year, and it's like, well, that gives it away. But it's like, ooh.
Yeah, I know. It would have been lovely to study in a space like this for sure.
Absolutely.
Right, have we been in this floor? I can't remember.
We briefly looked, but there's a banner here that. That's kind of lays out the funders. Digi-Tech Factory, thank you to our funders. We've got New Anglia for their work on the growth deal. Department for Education for the T-Level Capital Fund. Department for, I can get it right this time because I can read it. Department for Levelling Up Housing and Communities for the Towns deal, supported by Norwich City College, City Council, supported by Norwich City Council, City College Norwich. And what a fantastic job they've all done. The dream team.
Yeah, I mean, it's a... Oh, how do we get in here? Pull. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, actually thinking that this went in for funding in 2019 to now be stood in a finished functioning educational facility.
Pretty good.
It's pretty amazing. So
the Lego room.
So there is a Lego.
Neil Griffin, if you're listening to this, they've got a Lego room.
But unfortunately, our card won't let us in.
Is
there any Lego in there?
I've got a chair or something.
Doesn't look like there's any Lego in there yet.
Oh, swine.
Maybe it's in the post.
Oh well.
Yeah, one of the things you can see in this room, Mike, is just hanging down above the meeting, that table.
Yeah.
You see one of those cubes?
Yes.
So it's like that's quite an industrial sort of
Is.
warehouse
Yeah.
or workshop kind of approach to servicing a table which is in the middle of the room. So that just drops down from the top and is obviously done in yellow to match the colour scheme.
The colour scheme is white and yellow. And it's, all the services you need are in there. You can sort of jack in for this sort of hanging cube with a hook for cables on the bottom. But,
so these are, that's quite an interesting, I don't know what those are, but those look like they're training for circuit or maintenance of electrical installations potentially.
Yes, they look they look like they have been half-inched from the International Space Station.
Big grey box with a lot of buttons on.
Buttons and a big button that marks stop. And there's quite a few of those, plus some computers in that room.
So we're good to find out what that is at some point.
It's probably, it's probably for the best that we don't get to go in there and start pushing buttons randomly, which is very tempting.
There is a VR room around here somewhere. But
There is. It was 06, I think it is.
I think we're in process of those, some things still happening maybe.
So is this is the second?
There's another link, another bridge link.
Another bridge link, and there's sort of, it's more, you can see more clearly what's on the other side of the bridge link. It's like, and the automated lights are coming on.
Yeah, so 2 floor links.
Mm-hmm. But it's fairly straightforward. It's
I mean,
6 windows and 2 glass doors.
I mean, when we were doing the design development, because we ended up when I think we were discussing how difficult that might be for a contractor, and in the end, Carter's did it without any any fuss at all, which was amazing work from them. Because we worked on the project, doing the interiors, we were involved with it on site as well, of course, and doing the CROWDSOURCERY stuff. So that was nice to see the whole process happening.
Yeah. But you can just, it's quite easy, even though it's completely empty. We're in the sort of middle of August, but it's quite easy to imagine this building alive, full of people buzzing around.
Yes.
That's the VR room, the one with all the grey boxes and buttons.
Oh right, okay. That's an interesting use for it, maybe. Doesn't look like any VR equipment I'm aware of.
No, that'd be very, very bulky to put in your head. But even so, you can really imagine this sort of pushing with life and students coming, going, experts and professionals coming and going. And I think the more people like yourself we get in there, not the same, this is something you might want to consider, but sort of lending their expertise, and teaching students what it's really like to be in those professions, I think would be extremely valuable.
Exactly. Well, we're in discussions with various colleges about how we might link up with them and talk to them about our work. And of course, when we were doing the CROWDSOURCERY program, we did 2 or 3, I think it was 3 outreach sessions with the construction students here. Because that's one of the courses that we'll end up using the technology in here.
Yeah.
So the construction and tech. Well, there's a T-level course in that as well, building surveying stuff as well. So.
And I think there's another huge screen here, like there has been on every floor. The one on the second floor, the first floor rather, was giving out information about how to log in to your City College account, and it's almost like the House of Commons. There's so big screens everywhere, sort of telling you what's on, what's happening, and where you need to be. If someone said, "Bring me the head of Stephen Fry," then they've got their wish. For here he sits in the main entrance, smiling beneficially down at all the students as they come and go. They're obviously very, very proud of that link.
Yes.
And that car alarm.
And a car alarm for your audio.
There you go, fantastic.
But this, so this entrance area is so the end of the building makes use of these double height. So we had the end, the upper floors, which is a double height space. And the entrance hall's got another double height experience as you come in, and that acts as you're sort of pulling in from the outside. So the outside is quite interesting. I think this space, if we just go out, as long as the car alarm doesn't go off again.
Yep.
This has been one of the major successes, I think, of the building.
Yes.
Is this extending out of the upper floors by approximately a whole classroom length, if not more.
Definitely, probably more,
to create this kind of this plaza. Which is undercover.
A covered area at the sort of the first floor level. You can see the cladding, the mesh cladding, all around us, and you've got the 2 central pillars, but other than that, it's completely open apart from bike racks, a picnic table and a dustbin. And what a great space to sort of come and congregate while you're waiting for your next class, or, you know, you've just left one class and, you know, whatever the weather, you can stand under here and just natter or have something to eat or you know, pass the time of day.
One of the parts of the brief that City College gave to the team was that there's this main route down through the campus.
Yes, I can see it.
Which is as the students walk up and down sort of in a north-south direction. And this building was needed to act as a termination point. So like a feature corner, but instead of having an expressive corner as such, Coffee architects were very clever in terms of cutting the section back and allowing the space to flow under the building.
Yes.
Make this a destination point instead, instead of using the building, turning the building or doing anything fancy, they've cut away at the building volume to make this a key point on the route.
So what's directly above the kind of ceiling of this area? Is that another classroom, or is that?
Yeah, I think yes. So there's classrooms either side here, and then the double height space the space we were looking down into, I think before, is just above us here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's slightly disorientating in terms of the plan because you think things are stacked up, but this actually comes out by two bays of the columns, which is really quite unique.
And right in front of us is that focal point tree.
Yes.
That's been sort of at the heart, you know, really kept at the heart of the building design.
Yeah.
And around that,
dead on
the
axis.
car park.
On the axis of the
absolutely
the main route through the building. And a lot of students arrive. You know, a huge amount of students arrive in this car park each day.
Yes.
Because the catchment area for City College is huge for Norfolk.
Yes, it is.
In Norfolk. So you know, car travel is a necessity for some. And so that acts as, you know, it's like a welcome sort of entrance as well for those students that arrive and staff that arrive that way. If we just walk around this way, you'll be able to see, we can also see, so as the building was cut back in this location, here it's been pulled out.
Yes, I remember seeing the drawings online, and you're right, it's the ground floor's kind of been extruded out one side, hasn't it?
Yeah, just to provide more floor area at this point and make those labs, which you can see that have been pulled out as well. They're sort of quite long and high spaces, which are slightly different environments. So yeah.
Wow, what a fantastic building, and must be so proud to be such a central part of making this happen.
Yeah, well, I'm very lucky as always, and honoured to be part of it. You know, the hard work was done by, you know, the architectural team and all the other, you know, the Carters constructed it. Clancy Engineers did the structures. Clear Consultant and Design did the M&E. Real did the costing, and I was sort of there corralling everything together, which was just very lucky to do, really, and see it from the first concept sketches that Phil Coffey did. Yeah. And now to be stood in this functioning building is amazing. It's one of the great things about architecture. Which I miss slightly, I suppose, having moved into a different area. But then again, the work we do now is a lot quicker, and we can design things and get projects out and delivered to clients a lot quicker than maybe in building a very complex building like this. So it's a different dynamic.
Different dynamic, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I think it's something that the whole region can be proud of. Such a collaborative approach. So many sort of partners' willingness to succeed, and it's a real testament to what you can achieve when you all, you know, when there's so many people working as a team with a single goal. And congratulations on, you're right, it must be wonderful to see something you worked on just come to life like this. And by the time this goes out, it'll be fully alive with its first courses being run.
Yes.
A couple of weeks into its first courses. So, James Lee Burgess, thank you very much. And again, congratulations on this building, and thank you so much for talking to us today and for showing us around.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for the opportunity.
You're very, very welcome.
Very enjoyable. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to be back. Cheers.
My thanks to James and all at City College Norwich for showing me round this unique, award-laden building, and also for letting me try on a Trimble HoloLens headset. Some sequences were shortened to make James sound less like he has the patience of a saint, which he does, and to make me sound less like a blithering idiot, which I might well be. Not helped, of course, by Engineer 49 trying on the HoloLens helmet and figuring it out in approximately 2 seconds flat. Typical. This is the first bite of Sync the City 2022, recorded at the King Centre Norwich from the 17th to the 19th of November this year. Sync the City, that's sync as in synchronise, not as in submerge, is a peerless festival of creativity and collaboration. A mashup of Dragon's Den, The Apprentice and The X Factor, Sync the City drew in designers, entrepreneurs, engineers and students from all points of the compass, ready to scratch build a startup in 54 hours. Mentors were on hand to guide each team, ready for a final pitch in front of the public and 5 expert judges. I went along as an observer, and I don't know what I expected, but what happened was this.
Literally, this part here now is the calm before the storm. So just take a moment, breathe in and breathe out. There we go. Right, so we're going to be, in a very short time, we're going to be kicking off with the initial pitch. This is kind of the exciting part of the event, that we don't pre-screen any pitches or anything like that, so we have no clue, before the event. A lot of events like this, you have to submit your pitch before and get it approved. Over the last, I think we've been doing it 7 years now, this is the 8th year. We've had 80 startups come through the process. We're going to be doing the real 1-minute pitches, so if you are doing a 1-minute pitch, you just have to queue up on the left-hand side here, and we'll get going.
Hi, I'm Google Hololens. I'm a process engineer for Energy and Water, number 29.
Hey guys, I'm Wee, and my idea is about gamification of carbon credits. So what do you get if you save the planet? Maybe you'll be called Weirdo, or maybe Greta Thunberg, right?
Hi, my name's Tim, I'm pitch number 3, I'm a coding instructor, and today I'm pitching you Boardroom, a platform for unpublished indie board games.
Hey, I'm Tom, and this is, I'm pitch number 11, sorry, and this is called Plan My Trip, Travel Like a Local. Good evening, everyone. I'm Milan, like the city. I'm a training solicitor at Leeds Prior, and I'm number 7.
Hi, I'm Elena, lucky number 13. My idea is for a community skills exchange platform.
Hi, I'm Claire, number 10. I want to develop a menopause detector to help women get treatment as soon as it is needed. To do this, I need AI and data scientists, app developers and designers to help create a solution empowering women to continue being their best throughout their 40s and 50s.
Hi everyone, I'm Joe, pitch number 31. I'm a trainee solicitor at Leeds Prior. So I've travelled all over the world. So I want to develop a website where local people can create itineraries and travellers can choose an itinerary based on their interests.
Hi there, I'm Nick, number 17. I like DIY. What I don't like is traipsing around B&Q, tearing off various sheets of paper, sticking them on the wall at home, and then finding that the final wall that I do looks nothing like what I thought it was going to look like. So wouldn't it be great if there was an augmented reality app that had a catalogue of well-known companies' wallpapers that scans the room, scans the walls, puts the wallpaper on the walls and shows you what the entire thing's going to look like?
Right, my name's Callum, I'm a developer, and if you want to buy, vote for pitch number 35.
Right, hey, I'm Matt, I'm number 16. So, my idea essentially is no name yet, esports meets hackathon.
Good evening everybody, I'm Alfie Thurban, I'm pitch number 22 and I'm a student at East Norfolk College.
Hello, my name is Lila, I'm a film student from NUA and my number is number 4. So mood boards, storyboards and shot lists are essential for the pre-production of a film, for prototyping a project or for making any piece of art.
Good evening, I'm number 21. My name is Paul. I'm a director of a software company, RD Research, based in Norwich. 10 years ago, we developed, subcontracted the design of the Amazon return system.
Hello, my name is Henry, number 9, or just look for the tall guy. Do you ever felt like you're drowning? with information, and you're trying to find out opening times or event listings online.
Good evening, my name is Stephen. I'm a product manager for a fintech in London. Hands up if you've ever had to sit through slide after slide of chart data in meetings for hours on end. Keep your hands up if you found them exciting and interesting.
Hello, I'm Carrie. Anyone heard about advertising? Raise your hand. Okay, anyone feels this exciting? No? Yeah, I also think so.
Number 12, Property Hodl, Jack Stewart. I work for Cambridge University. So my idea is a zero fees estate agency business.
So, hello, I'm Adrien Laurie. I'm an exchange student from UEA, so I'm from France, as you can tell by my accent, I guess.
My name is Richard, number 8. I'm currently an MBA student at the UEA. Before that, I lived in China for 17 years, where I worked in their clinical research.
Hiya, my name is Dan, number 25. What I'm pitching here is a very interesting idea. It's a form of escapism. Now, if I said to you the name Bear Grylls, I think most of you will know who that is, right?
Hello everyone, I'm Julie. I'm a Norwich Business School student, and my pitch number is 26.
Hey everyone, my name is Andre, and I'm a UEA business student as well. My idea entails implementing biometric tech into pre-existing BT street hubs. Pitch 32, thank you.
Hello, my name is Honey.
And I'm Gemma. We're from East Norfolk College, and this is Honey's idea about a recyclable app.
The idea is to create an app where you can scan the item and it tells you exactly how to recycle it, where to recycle it, and if the item is recyclable.
Good evening, Stephen City! Alright, I'm Bex, I'm number 18. Now, let me tell you a story. My friend Claire is a hairdresser.
Hello everybody, my name is Nuruddin, I'm number 30. So basically my idea is called Medic Vision, right? And it's all to do with medical shoots, which is what I am.
Hi, my name is Adam, I'm number 28. I'm also a medical student. Hypnotherapy is a mind-body intervention which uses focused attention and increased suggestibility in the treatment of psychological disorders and physical disorders.
Good evening, I'm Jess, number 1. What percentage of people do you think lie on their resume? Well, one survey discovered that 51% of people are dishonest in describing their professional achievements. I'm looking to make personal claims on resumes trustworthy by using Web3 technology such as NFTs to validate achievements.
Good evening everybody, my name is Sean, I'm a tech PR consultant. My passion is doing something about the climate crisis. And I've been thinking about ways we can reduce consumption of the things that we own.
Hello, my name is Floyd. My idea is, well, let me tell you what the problem is. If you put your hand up, if you've heard of seagrass.
Catherine here and Tom will be having a look at those pictures and just spending about 5-10 minutes, a quick one, just to kind of go through to see. So often we'll have people pitching a similar idea, they might be merged together, or it's just a pitch that's not going to have legs, so we'll get that down to 20.
Do you want to turn your line around? Because I know it begins with a Catherine, I knew it began with a K. Phonics Hero, CEO and founder, you are one of the mentors tonight. And across the next 2 days as well. Indeed. What do you think of the pictures you've seen so far?
Really good, very varied, which is exciting. Lots of ideas in the decentralised NFT, networky stuff that I don't know about, so I won't be mentoring them. It's great to see lots of female founders up there with ideas, and not just of one race, so that was really good to see, and very diverse, good, good cross-section of people, young and old too, so that was fab.
So what are you looking forward to most? Have you I won't ask you who, but have you got your eye on a couple you think I would really like to work with those people?
I do, and it's always businesses that are closer to your heart, or you've got a bit of experience. I would probably want to work with a female founder if I'm going to work with anyone. I like the menopause idea. I'm 41, so I'm like, it's on my radar vaguely.
Well, I'll let you go because you're going to have a really exciting weekend ahead of you. So thank you very much, Catherine.
No more.
Abby Joseph, what was your pitch number?
24.
So you've come from Cambridge Future Tech.
Yes.
It seems a slightly obvious question, but what brings you here?
Obviously, seeing the city, it's an amazing event. There's a lot of people having. I want to have a lot of fun. I want to hear what people are building. So that curiosity brought me here.
Is this your first one?
Yeah, this is my first event.
All right, fantastic. So you live in Cambridge, yes?
Yes, I live and work in Cambridge.
Okay. Well, it's going to be a crazy couple of days. And how did you find pitching? Was that a bit nerve-wracking, or are you just glad you've got it done?
I mean, like, this was my first ever pitch that I have done in my life, and you know, I just saw them handing out the numbers. I just grabbed one, and you know, I sort of pitched, you know, to get the fear out of my system. It was really nice, and the pitches here, it was absolutely brilliant. All the ideas that people have, I mean, like, it's crazy. I'm looking forward to the next 3 days.
Fantastic. Have a wonderful time.
You too.
Thanks very much. Cheers. Stephen Carter, Vox Smart.
Yes.
How did you find the experience of pitching?
It was eye-opening. It's the most people I've ever pitched to or spoken to at once on the stage, so quite nerve-wracking.
So could you just run us through what your pitch was again? What was your number?
So I was number 34. My pitch was a AR/VR data visualization agency.
You did a very, very creative, very inventive take on sort of survival in the wild. Do you want to just expound on where that idea came from?
Well, the idea is, I think. Oh, can we continue or?
Actually, quickly.
I think the whole idea is basically a lot of people are interested in the idea. If you look at YouTube, there are literally hundreds of millions of people that look at these types of videos. So basically, I wanted to introduce that into a kind of getaway experience, maybe like a holiday package, or maybe like a kind of escapism. I think it can be done for the average family.
So, Daniel Tadd, voiceover specialist. We better let him get on with it, and good luck. Floyd Sayers, you were the last one. Was that difficult to be in the queue, waiting for your turn, knowing you'd be probably the last one up?
I was quite relaxed until I went off script and started to sort of ad lib, and then there were so many things I wanted to get across, and the music was a bit of a distraction because and then it came on again. I didn't expect it to come on again, but no, I think this is my fifth one. And I've been involved in teams that have done really well in the past. I've always pitched ideas, so I thought, definitely going to pitch again. And it does help if you're last.
Yeah, it's kind of like the thing. You either want to be top of the bill or the famous name with "and" at the end, and Floyd Sayers.
I just hope that the idea came across, but we'll see.
Sophie Ross, UX designer and student, it says on your lanyard. Who are you planning to vote for?
I can't share that information.
That's fair enough. This is obviously a highly secretive process. A secret ballot. I like your style. Thank you very much.
Okay. I think I've read them all now. But now I'm not sure. So we should have number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 9, number 10, number 12, number 13, number 16, number 17, number 18, and numbers 20, 21, 22, 25, 27, 28, 31, 33. Are you all present and correct? Okay, and that's your 20, everybody.
Currently, yes, we've got all the mentor team in here. There's 15 mentors. We've just done the initial pitch, 1 minute pitch, of which there were 32 people pitched. Then we rounded that down to 20 pre-selection. Then the audience have voted for their favourite. So we've got those 20 with all the votes. They use tiddlywinks to vote in a jar. And now the mentor team are deciding, based on those votes and their own sort of opinions on what could be successful, what's the top 10 ideas that will be taken forward to the next stage of team formation.
Are you really excited, or is it sort of like, it's like Christmas, it comes around every so often and it gets a bit...
Oh no, actually, well, this is it's all going super smoothly at the moment, so which is really good. Normally this is quite a stressful time, but all those had really good 1 minute pitches, so it's a bit of a problem. Yeah, so it's, I would say, definitely the best 1-minute pitches we've ever had. So it's a good problem to have. So now, yes, all the team, mentor team, are deciding which 10 to take through.
Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this goes. John Fagan, have a fantastic couple of days. It's looking really enjoyable already.
Cool. Yeah. Hopefully see you later.
You will indeed. Thank you very much.
Through the whole process.
You will.
Mike. Yeah, cheers.
Julie Schofield, Head of Business Partnerships for the UEA. UEA obviously a key sponsor of this event. What are you hoping to get out of it for the university, and what are you hoping to see?
Okay, so actually UEA are a co-founder of Sync the City.
Wow, yes,
so we've been involved ever since it started 8 years ago. It was a chance conversation with John Fagan. Basically, he wanted to set up a hackathon, but he didn't have any resources to do it. So we combined forces to create something to bring together the tech community, students, and to create something that we had no idea what the potential was going to be. It turned into an 8-year journey that we hope will continue. Why do UEA get involved in this? It's a fantastic opportunity to bring together a diverse audience of students, experienced tech designers, and the business community to disrupt, innovate, and create the potential new businesses of the future.
Well, I've just been speaking to someone who's come from Cambridge specially to take part, and it was his first event, but he'd already heard how legendary it was. That must feel pretty good.
That's fantastic. I mean, we've got so much support. I think we've invited Tech City. They've come up from London. They've participated in the event, and actually they said the key ingredients for this event is the collaborative nature of the fact that the tech community, the business community, education and public sector come together. They give their time, they give resources to create something that has impact on an individual level if it's new skills, new contacts, but it creates businesses.
Not to get overly political, but we've heard in the autumn statement today about how universities are going to be the focus going forward of investment. Again, that must feel pretty good and pretty buoying. Buoying, is that a word? It is now. Write that down. Must feel pretty good that the role of universities in innovation is being more concretely recognised in government.
I think it's absolutely critical, and I think it is about how universities can collaborate to bring out the research, the technical skills that are being developed there, access to talent. Let's influence the degree structures. Let's look at how we can work with industry to actually innovate and actually generate clean, inclusive growth.
Well, that's so important, and it's going to be a fabulous couple of days, I'm sure. And I know it's great that UEA have been driving this from the start. Julie Schofield, thank you.
When your name is called out, you are a winner of this whole process for this first stage. So when you come out, I think we're going to probably ask you to celebrate, obviously, and then maybe go into the mentor room for a bit, and then you meet your mentor, and then we'll then do the team formation bit. So, over to you, Tom.
Thank you. Yet again, here I am as the nasty guy who's kicking people, crushing people's dreams. I'm not that guy. I'm a nice guy. They just made me do it. But there has to be just 10, and here are the 10 that you have voted into startup existence. Okay. So I'm sorry, I don't have names written on this piece of paper, but so I've got idea number 1, that's the NFT resume. Stevie? Right. Number 1, calling number 1, your time is up. That's it, thank you. Come down here, and you're going to be mentored by James Adams. Okay, the next one we've selected is number 3, the boardroom. Tim, and that's going to be mentored by Adam. Okay, next one is number 10, the menopause early warning system. And that's going to be Kirsty. It's going to mentor you. Okay, next, number 17, Warlord. And Katie is going to be your mentor. So Katie, can you find Warlord? Okay, next one, number 20, the Feed the Parents community upskilling. Thank you. Well done. And James Stock is going to be your mentor. And then we've got number, I nearly missed him, 25, the Hunger Games. And you're going to be mentored by Ryan. Wait, have we done number 27? Number 27, the recycling. Well, there's two of them, Annie and Gemma. Well done. Off you go, and you're going to be mentored by Hayley. Okay, also through number 28. Yes! That's our hypnotherapy, personalised hypnotherapy. Very good. I missed one. I'm not very numerically ordered-minded, because way back, number 4, Shadow. Yes, you are up for it. Sorry, Cinderella. I can't tell you. And you're going to be mentored by Catherine. And I hope this makes 10, because otherwise we're stuffed. It's number 31. It's the local itinerary. Yes. And you're going to be mentored by Sam. Okay. Thank you and bienvenue. Could the 10 people that are through, could you come and stand on the stage because we want to take a picture of you? Your mentors can stay behind, they're not as photogenic. Alright, so when they're all on stage, please give it up for your 10 startup course of the City 2022. Good luck, everybody. You're now thinking, oh my God, what have I talked myself into?
Next week, reality bites for our teams, and the size of the challenge in front of them comes into focus. And if the pressure of the giant countdown clock wasn't enough, the judges arrive. And now, Aesop, he of fables, said this: gratitude turns what we have into enough. So let's all bow our heads and give thanks for this week's edition of
CROWDSOURCERY.
Yes, CROWDSOURCERY. Last week was Thanksgiving in the USA, so it's an excellent time to ask you, my crowd-sorcerers, for what, where or whom in the east of England you would like to give thanks. I want to give thanks to my wonderful, long-suffering and extremely patient wife, Sally. My friends and family, including Engineer 49, Wavelength Wizard Extraordinaire, everyone who has been or will be on the show, and the lovely listeners to Eastern Promise, without whom this would all be pointless. But what about you? Well, Tom Abbott of Green Easy makes it easy. Family and friends. Thank you, Tom. Short and sweet. As, indeed, am I. To Simon Blackwell next, a previous guest on this very show and founder of Hemp Innovations Limited. Simon also offers his thanks to his long-suffering family, namely partner Celine and son Dylan, without whom Simon says he would have really struggled to keep going over the last 4 years. Simon says a massive thank you to James Adams and Tom Wood of Accela for taking a punt on his project. James and Tom, you cannot know how much Simon appreciates your support. And finally, Norfolk itself. Simon can't count the number of times that he's longed for nothing more than a stroll along one of its windswept beaches or a wander through ancient city streets. Here's to the next few years, says Simon, and many more things to be grateful for. Well, Amen to that. And if you haven't heard my chat with Simon, please do check it out. It's probably one of the most moving personal stories I've yet had on Eastern Promise. You can find it in your podcast feed or at easternpromise.podbean.com. Moving on to a much more recent guest on the show, David Powells, Norfolk champion and journalist of more than 20 years standing, who says, "It's got to be the people, Mike. I've seen that loud and clear from these last few months, receiving so much support, kindness and care from others. That stretched from my amazing wife through to many people on here, all of whom will know who they are. Thank you, David, and I look forward to welcoming you back on the podcast soon." Meanwhile, Floyd Sayers, recent Sync the City participant and active seating guru, bringing more movement, energy, productivity and well-being to your workspace. A big, big thank you, says Floyd, to Dennis Pardo, my Qigong teacher. Our flow motion movement for change, active working philosophy for the workplace, has been influenced by his wisdom and teachings, which focus on mental health, long-term well-being, posture, breathing, mindfulness, exercise, balance and movement. Check him out, says Floyd. That's at www.movelifebetter.com/Qigong in Norwich, and that's spelt QIGONGIN Norwich. And finally, Tim Smith, course director at Tech Educators. Tim is also thankful for his long-suffering wife and family. He's also thankful for James Adams for putting Tech Educators in Tim's life and giving him the opportunity to do something he really cares about. And that in itself is gold dust, Tim. Vatsavaye Priyatham Pharma for being the best colleague in the world, and to whom I apologise if I haven't got that right. And Liana Lucas for teaching Tim so much about the world and quickly becoming Auntie Liana to his children. I have to say, there are a lot of A, long-suffering wives and family out there, and B, a lot of people thanking James Adams. Thank you all for those. Next week, all the world's a stage, as we find out your favourite theatres, playhouses and live performance venues. Head over to LinkedIn if you want to add your choice. And that's it for episode 44 of Eastern Promise. I've been Mike Rigby. Thank you, as ever, to the titan of the transistor, Engineer 49. To James Lee Burgess of UrbanXR and the good people at City College Norwich. To John Fagan for inviting me to come and cover Sync the City 2022 and all the people who didn't run a mile when I stuck a microphone under their nose. But most of all, to you for listening. You could be doing anything with your time, and I am really grateful you're choosing to spend some of it with me. I'll be back next week with Nigel Cushion and Charlotte Pounder of Nelson Spirit. But until then, bye for now.
I think I read them all out. But now I'm not sure.